stay with me for a second. This is going to be a strange topic. Maybe it's just a strange topic for me to cover, not in general. I do think more people should talk about it, but I want to talk about a food budget. Just because, like, I think last night's conversation was, like, it was weird to the point where, like, it's shocking that so many people have no idea about, like, the cost of everything. Now, I think that this is becoming more of an issue, specifically with, like, I've seen every single conservative cover the food stamps debacle. So basically, it looks like November is coming, and because the government is shut down, all of the food stamps in many states are being shut off, and there are all these other people who are recipients of the food stamps, and they're coming on and they're screaming about how they're going to start stealing because there's no food stamps. Okay, so a part of moving out, right, is having three main costs. It's your housing costs, like rent, your cell phone cost. Usually there's like a transit pass cost, but that's like pretty minimal. That's probably like $50 or something like that. But then there's a food cost. Like, if you have a really minimal food budget, that's about $400 a month to feed one person. And that's pretty minimal. That's like if you don't eat out much. But there's some kind of like life hacks to this that I want to explain. And I think I've talked about this before in my grocery store politics video and also my Walmart mom videos, which I highly suggest you go back and look at that. But the reason that this is a thing, right, the Walmart mom and the Erewhon mom are very far apart, especially when we keep having all these conversations about immigrants. They're all Walmart moms. Like, you don't see these like undocumented aliens being like, yeah, we go shop at Erewhon every day. It's not a thing. They wouldn't be coming if they that's really important context to understand. And I feel like I also started seeing this when I was trying to understand Indian culture, and this girl wrote a song that was called Chicken and Rice, and I was like, okay, this is something. So chicken and rice as a concept is important because it's a very cheap meal that will keep you alive, which I feel like if you go talk to any person probably who comes from like a low income household, they can tell you that. Like, what did you have for dinner every night? It's some version of like chicken and rice. Because rice costs like $2, and then chicken, you know, you can get there's varying levels of like quality chicken, but cheap Walmart chicken you can get a couple fillets for like $5. Now, I think that for me in my adulting journey, I'm not a big cooker. Like, I don't like to cook, so I always eat out. But I mean, just the way that I grew up, we did a lot of our grocery shopping at Costco. Like, Costco was like the main grocery store. And then there was like Safeway. Like, Safeway and Costco were like the main. But Costco mostly because you can get bulk, and like for me, I eat the same shit like every day, so having a bulk of the stuff that I like every 2 weeks is like perfect. Growing up, I would have like oatmeal every day, but I feel like now that I'm an adult, I have things more like a cup of coffee and like 2 bananas. That's like a really nice breakfast. Sometimes I'll have a breakfast burrito, which if you go to the grocery store, that costs like $10, right? And that's a pretty fair price. Coffee right now is what, about $4 or $5 for a cup. And if you go to Starbucks, you can just keep getting refills of the coffee. This is why you always catch me at Starbucks, because like you just buy one and you can like hang out and just get refills. Not the point though. And then if we're thinking about lunch, like I'll show you guys something. Like today I got some sushi. So this is like a chili mango salmon roll that's like $10. Or this is like I always get this sandwich. It's like a I'll show you. It's a roast beef sandwich with a bunch of veggies, and it costs like $7 basically. So, and it's pretty massive, right? So technically, I've done it where I just buy that one sandwich and then just eat half for breakfast, and then half for lunch and like half for dinner with 2 bananas. So that's about a $10 situation for the whole day. And so there's 30 days in a month, so that's about $300 just for one person. That's not a very elaborate food budget. And if you're working, you get 2 paychecks, or in my situation I get 4 because I get paid every week. But yeah, that's very manageable. But then there's levels to it, right? Because the more money you make, you can spend more money. So you could go eat out at restaurants, and you could spend, very easily at a restaurant for like an appetizer, a dinner plate, a cocktail, a dessert. That's very quickly $200 for like one person. Or you could go to happy hour, right? Like the other day I went to happy hour. I easily spent like $34. I think that was with a tip though, so, but still, like $50 for a meal is very easy to spend. And like, I don't know, that's probably, like, let's say you're spending like $10 for a day is gonna run you about $300 a month. It's like poverty budget, but you could get it to work. If you're spending $50 a day, that's gonna be $1,500 a month on food. I feel like most months that's probably around where I land, maybe a little bit less, but like kind of. And I'm not even at a place where I'm like actually like eat. Let's say your food budget was so large you ate out every night. Like, let's just say you did like 3 meals out and one of them was a nice dinner. So we're talking $200 a day for the whole month. That's a $6,000 food budget. Like, it can get high really, really fast. But I think it's probably just useful to understand where like the bottom is, because it does feel like so many people just have no idea where to even start. And I think that it's pretty fair. Like, coffee and bananas for breakfast bananas cost, you can get like 4 for like $1, probably even less than that, like 75 cents or something. You can get a sandwich for $10. That's enough. That's, it's definitely not this like ballin' budget, but you don't really need a kitchen for that. You don't have to like prepare anything, and you could technically eat all day. Just drink water. That's how you, that is how you, when you first are moving out and you don't know anything else, just go with that. And then as you get more, maybe you get a pot, maybe you get a kitchen, maybe you get more shit, then you can start cooking chicken, buying, a few days worth of chicken. Or if you are at a place where you're like apartment living and you want to have, better meals, you can every night just go out and buy 1 fillet of chicken, season your chicken, buy a bag of rice, or buy a bag to cook of rice, buy some stuff for salad. Like, Trader Joe's is really good for this because like the way the store is set up, you can get like marinated meat. Very easy to buy a pre-made bag of salad. So yes, you could live very well on Trader Joe's for like $1,000 a month, and you could eat in pretty much every night. I kind of wanted to say that because I feel like for some reason, like, we just need more clarity around like how to live as a single person and the cost of that. I also do think it's useful to know at the grocery store you can buy single bottles of like beer or kombucha, like hard kombucha, for like $2 or $3. So if you're like, long week, I need to have a drink, just buy yourself 1 can of beer for like $2 or $3, $5. $5 I think is like a pretty good standard, because if you're going out to a wine bar and you're getting a glass of wine, you're going to be paying like $26 for a glass, when you could just go to Trader Joe's and buy a whole bottle and spend like $5 for a pretty decent bottle of red wine. So I kind of feel like explaining some of that stuff, putting numbers behind it, like probably a good idea.